Adrenaline in my soul. That's another loss for Chad Gable. So much for Alpha Academy. As much as Gable is a freak, he'll never have a winning streak. He might as well just lay down and save us all. The 10 minutes where he is wrestling, since his shoulders end up on the mat. I'm John Rankin with my review WWE Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're on the road to WrestleMania, 33 days away, and goodness goddamn me, they are gonna stumble their way to WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California, and the mayor, James T. Butts Jr. Mayor Butts. If you think that I'm not going to shoehorn Mayor Butts, if you don't think I'm going to force Mayor Butts in this, in every single goddamn review until WrestleMania and during the WrestleMania reviews, you don't know me very well. Mayor Butts. One day my humor will mature. Today, however, is not that day. Yeah, this show. Look, there are some people that like to build to WrestleMania. There are a few things they are getting right, but goodness me, Raw is a goddamn slog and a half and then some. And I understand it's 3 hours. It's hard to fill that stuff. They format this show terribly. The matches at times don't mean anything, and even the ones that are given time, oh, we go here and then we go to break, and then we go to break, and oh, let's have interference and a melee and loud noises. You know, also a couple moments on the show could have used more goddamn pyro to burst the eardrums of the home viewer, even with their television volume lowered. Just Jesus Christ. Anyway, recaps of the Sammy and Bloodline stuff. It's one of the few things they've gotten right, even though I think, honestly, at times they've stumbled a little bit with this. You know what? It's been the one thing they've put the most time and invested the most effort in, so I can't fault them for that. So Solo and Jimmy show up, and they talk about the Bloodline is fine. The Bloodline is fine. It's fine. This is fine. Cody gets mentioned. He gets a pop. And then the Prophets show up. The Prophets got absolutely zero reaction when they started talking. Dawkins has really improved in the ring. Ford is a goddamn beast. They're a good team. They can, do a lot of the moves. They can get the crowd, popping, I believe, as the kids say. I don't think the kids have said that in a number of years since Notorious B.I.G. was above ground. This is going well. But Ford is going to be the standout of the two, but yeah, they just did not care. The crowd did not care one goddamn bit when they talked, mainly because it was scripted verbiage that nobody really got invested in. Jumpstart, and then we go to the break. And then we come back, Profits versus Jimmy Uso and Solo, same as it ever was, and as the days go by. We get, after 2 minutes, we break, and then we go back again. Seriously, the matches just are goddamn meaningless. And I get it. They have to have the advertisements. They have to do all. I get why they do it, and I get why the show will have match interruptions. That's all right. But good God, if they can't shorten up the promos, make the matches mean something a little bit more. Whatever. This was a match. They popped later for Ford. There was an awkward moment where Ford was paused on the top rope for a while. I think either Jimmy forgot to go or maybe Ford came too soon. There's a euphemism there. And then the Samoan Spike on Dawkins 1, 2, 3. It was a match that we've seen before. It wasn't bad. We've just seen it before. Kevin Owens then runs in a hoodie. Oh, he's being just like his buddy Sammy. And he stuns Jimmy and then leaves. So, here comes the Bork Laser in Bork Rapids, Grand Bork Rapids. He is all happy and everything, sits down in the MVP or the VIP lounge. MVP basically says, comes down and is talking to Brock and, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. Wink, wink, nod, nod. No, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. But anyway, I did note that there is a 4-year age difference between these guys. Bork is 45 and MVP is 49. So, at one point, because MVP hyped the whole damn thing up, sell me on this match, MVP, against Edward James Olmos, who is not on this show, thankfully, because anytime Edward James Olmos is on my television, I wonder, why is there a skyscraper with legs there? Apparently he is a nice guy. I'm sure he is. He's physically imposing when he's standing there. So Brock high-fives him. That was actually pretty funny. And Brock is having a blast. And then we get champagne wishes and caviar creams. I think that's how that saying goes. But then Bork says, no, let's drink from this flask. It's called White Lightning. I say it's White Lightning. Do, 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 do. White Lightning, go Brock Lightning. Really should have actually started the show like that. Nevertheless, he ends up, puking it a bit, spitting it back up on Bork. And Bork's like, that's all right. Here's a handkerchief back in your pocket. And then he F5s him. The you fucked up chants were getting edited not very well. But yeah, he F5s MVP, who took it like a champ. And there you go. Kathy Kelly interviews Becky and Lita. Kathy Kelly is the best rehire that Triple H has had. Good God, she looks great. Interviews Becky and Lita about the tag title main event. And then, I think Cody's entrance needs more pyro. Now, one thing I do want to say, he gave his weight belt to a young fan there, and that was cool. That was goddamn cool. The mother tweeted about it, and apparently she's a wrestling fan, and, good for the kid. The kid can be all happy about that, and sweet fucking Christ, that mother is beautiful. Good Lord. Good Lord. But you know what? She obviously knows her. She obviously knows her stuff. She had a tweet apparently from a couple days ago. Not that I searched, and she had $1 million championship belt. That is dedication right there. That's a deep cut. That's some good shit. But anyway, good. The kid was happy. Cody took on Gable with Otis. As much as I like Gable, and I don't care when he wrestles because he's gonna fucking lose. Oh, we won a match on TV a few months ago. What good did that do? Gable is never going to be featured properly because he's being treated like a goof. He got beat. 90 seconds in, we went to the break. And at one point, Otis gets distracted by Maxine because they're doing this Maximum Male Models thing because I am not allowed to know peace in my when it comes to my goddamn wrestling. Because Maximum Male Models is one of the most embarrassing goddamn things they have brought on TV in a while. And I'm not even talking about the talent. I'm talking about the goddamn gimmick. And then Cody's like saying, oh, she's over there. Wait a minute, what are you doing here? So just, remember when WWE actually involved wrestling on their programs? Oh, they do it on NXT. Yeah, they're good programs, I mean. Anyway, Cody wins. Let's move on. Cody then says, hey, I'll be on SmackDown too. The insincerity dripping off of Cody Rhodes. Or maybe that was maybe it was malaria. I don't really know. I felt like getting a case of malaria instead of putting up with the rest of this show. Byron interviewed Barry Corbin, cut him off to interview Kevin Owens. I do love wrestling, by the way, but I'm starting to really hate how WWE has stomped it into the goddamn ground. It doesn't, anything good on Raw, anything good even on NXT or SmackDown just gets stomped out in a malaise of just bleh. It's just bleh. It doesn't really mean anything. So Montez and Bianca do a Titanic spoof. By the way, Owens also said that he would not stop until the bloodline got enough. Don't stop till you get enough. Yeah, the Ford-Bianca Titanic spinoff didn't really work for me. They did 20 takes and that was the best one. And Ford has that superstar potential and Bianca has that breakout potential as far as in Hollywood. And they're a happily married couple. Good for them. This was not good. I'm happy they got to do something together, but this was not good. Not good at all. Rhea and Judgment Day are backstage, which means Dominic's there. And, this company can't be sold soon enough if it means Dominic will be off my television. Asuka makes her entrance at 6:18 p.m. and we go to break. I have tried ignoring the fact that they do entrances, breaks, and they, because I did this for a while, especially on SmackDown and maybe even Raw, but I tried to ignore the fact that it became formulaic, where they would do a long promo, they would do some stuff, and then they would do a match, they would go to the break, then they come back, and they do something, and it's impossible to ignore now. It's impossible to ignore. It makes the show hard to enjoy. Asuka versus Carmella. Corey absolutely being a goddamn aggravating just nuisance or whatever. And for somebody that says, oh, Carmella, deserves more praise and everything and stuff like that, and he gets all upset. He talks about all the people knocking him or knocking her, and it's like, it's funny that Corey gets upset at fans or whatever. It's not like Corey has ever proven to be somebody that gets easily aggravated by simplistic things or whatever and attacks people that didn't fucking deserve it and prove he's a goddamn tad-up douchebag with head trauma, and God forbid, he'll probably be a drooling vegetable by the age of 50, and I won't shed a tear. But nevertheless, a Carmella match going through a break in 2023, the year of our Lord and Savior Cocaine Bear. By the way, go watch Cocaine Bear. It certainly is more entertaining than watching a Carmella match, and I like Asuka. And Carmella is not the most egregiously offensive woman that I have ever seen in a ring, but she's not much above Sable. Sable didn't want to take bumps, and Carmella doesn't know how to take bumps. If they are going to continue to do this to Asuka, just, you know what, just cancel the Asuka push. Send her home for 6 months. It's not worth it. I kid. Just, she should have eaten Carmella alive. That's not a euphemism either. She should have beaten her flat in 3 minutes. Because Carmella can't fucking work and it's not believable. She's been there for 8 goddamn years. Close to it, right? No, wait. Actually, yeah, something like that. Or around 8 years. I forget exactly when she showed up with Enzo and Cass, and she outlasted both of them in the company, which proves at least she's easier to put up with than they are, but Jesus Christ, the armbar wins it, my God. This went 3 times as long as it needed to. Carmella is one of the most embarrassing people that I have seen in a wrestling ring in years. Asuka then calls out Bianca, cuts a bit of a promo in Japanese. Bianca shows up, setting wrestling Twitter on fire with her outfit. Good goddamn grief. I've never seen so much horniness on my timeline. You're all being horny on your timelines, and I'm over here being perfectly innocent about wanting Asuka to kick me in the face and yell at me in Japanese and spray me in the face with mist and shut up. I don't have issues. You have issues. Carmella then blindsides Bianca because what ancient totem did I defile to have to put up with more of this goddamn stupid, burned out twat that has no business being in wrestling, being on my television more? I know she went through a whole lot of shit. I'm not talking about the actual person. I feel terrible for what she had to go through in her personal life about, 6 months ago? That's terrible. No human being should ever have to go through that. But that doesn't mean she should be on television competing against people that on their worst day, in a coma, when they are goddamn with their legs cut off, are better than Carmella could ever be on her best day. Anyway, Piper took on Candice. Nikki Cross is around Candice because all her friends left her and she was partners with Piper at one point. It was also friends with... Was she friends with Candice? I refuse to care. I refuse to fucking care. Nikki ends up inadvertently causing Candice to win when Piper throws both of them around and then gets hit with the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, the surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. So yeah, bland as milquetoast. Candice wins. Oh boy. We have a Gargano promo. Speaking of bland. And here's Judgment Day. Dominic is on my television again. You will pay for your crimes by being sent to the gulag, Triple H. Balor mentioned Syrup and Otis eating Gargano up for some reason. What are you like, Finn? What are you like? Also, I guess apparently Gargano and Balor are going to have a match next week. Okay, so here's also something that that I noticed, and somebody also enforced it or reinforced it. Why did Corey mention Plenty of Fish about Nikki Cross, in regards to her getting on website? 1, is that website actually still a thing? Because I do remember that. 2, Nikki is married, and Nikki actually cares about her marriage, unlike you, Corey, that left the wife of your 3 children that stuck by you when your widow brain hurt too much, and you went with a woman that doesn't look like she could really add 2 and 2 together if you told her how to do the whole goddamn equation. Yes, that's mean. I don't care. But honestly, Corey talking about various things like that, he's almost worse than JBL. At least JBL had a good wrestling career. Miz TV, his announcement. He's the host of WrestleMania. God help us. God help us. We don't have to see him wrestle. At least there's that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here's Seth Pheasant Rollins. He shows up in furry glasses, a furry jacket, and the crowd keeps singing his theme. He says, "You were kind of being a beehole." And the Miz says, "I'm not a B. I'm an A-type person. A-hole, A-hole." Look, Miz plays his role well. The fact that he's been with the company for nearly 20 fucking years, that's a credit to him. Goddamn, this is bad television. He then knocks out Miz because he wanted Miz to contact Logan Paul. Miz, who has not had any association with Logan Paul since SummerSlam last year. Which we're coming up on, about 7 months now almost? About 7 months. And we're still doing this. Okay, nobody else has Logan Paul's number. He then uses Miz's retinal scan thing to open his phone and then contact Logan Paul, who he still has his number saved, and Logan Paul hasn't blocked Miz for some reason. And then Seth Pheasant Rollins mocks Logan Paul and mocks the fact that Jake Paul lost in a boxing match. And, I just want to say right now that I'm glad that Jake Paul lost, and maybe people can stop pretending that he's actually a boxer. Remember when boxing actually was about talent, not about freak show stuff? See, if the Paul brothers were actually decent human beings, I wouldn't care one goddamn bit, but they're not. I hope Jake Paul's brain turned to goddamn mush, and he ends up a drooling vegetable. Not that you will be able to tell the difference, because both him and Logan are goddamn idiots. Either they're terrible people mocking the Japanese culture, they do NFT scans, or, in the case of Logan, abandons a pig. Don't get animals if you're not going to give them your life, because they're willing to give you theirs. So, anyway, then he stomps Miz. Kathy Kelly interviews Damage Control while Io is stretching. Anyway, then she interviews Theory, and I feel asleep. People like Theory. That's fine. You can like taking Ambien as well. Taking Ambien would actually be, it would actually provide you more relief than listening to Theory talk. Here's Lashley. We go to break. Lashley then beats Elias very quickly while Boogs is trying to write stuff down frantically. Lashley then gets the hurt lock and it's over. And then he says, nobody will disrespect me. It doesn't matter who it is, Brock or Bray. And then they do stupid stuff with Bray. I'm going to say right now that the worst rehire outside of Hit Row and Karrion Kross has been Bray. Yes, Bray moves merch, and that's good. And there are people that like Bray. As far as money for the company, that's fine. As far as quality, as far as good segments, as far as wrestling matches, as far as anything, it's stupid. This is some of the most egregiously offensive bullshit I have seen on a wrestling program in a while. At least the WWE program. Because AEW is a whole different, there's a whole different can of worms with the shit they do. He's doing the Muscle Man dance, this kind of stuff. They're doing this stuff with Lashley. Just after Mania, send Lashley home. Send him home for 6 months. Or send him home at least until SummerSlam. Because you cannot tell me that this is going to be good. It's not going to be good. You know why it's not going to be goddamn good? Because Bray is a goddamn embarrassment to wrestling. Go freaking act, you goddamn idiot. Go goddamn act. Go act, go act, go act. Oh, geez, look. Somebody who's talking about acting. The producer, by the magic powers of his ability, opened the goddamn door himself. And you did not like the Bray segment. You did not like that. You didn't like that, did you? What was Bray doing? He was doing the dance and everything. He was doing the weird dance and all that. And you just didn't like that. By the way, this will be the last review I do because the producer is probably going to cut my neck. That paw almost went in my... You've been outside, sir. It's snowing. You've been outside. Cat. There. The Bray shit was embarrassing. How dare you, Triple H? How dare you, Bray? How dare you desecrate wrestling? Chelsea and Carmella, speaking of desecration, they bother Adam Pearce, and they bother the ears of every viewer that's still watching this. Otis and the models, with the models, took on Gargano. You know what? I remember when Raw was good. At one point, Dexter attacks Mace. That's his name. Maximum Male Malls, you know what, Triple H? You will pay for your crimes for not getting rid of this, and Wendy Chu, and Chase U, and all this goddamn crap. I know it doesn't need to be straight sports, but god damn it. Gargano wins. By the way, Corey talking about the sanctity of marriage. Oh, that's rich, you goddamn tad up CTE-ridden goof. This match ends at 7:26. You know what? Let's just finish up this goddamn shit right here. Heyman then says to Cat... Heyman got a dye job, by the way. Enjoy the cattail over there. He says Cody will confront Reigns on SmackDown, or he will be confronted. Woo! Io was stretching. I liked seeing that. Io is very... Io can definitely get a lot of it. Io's very good at what she does, and she knows exactly how to gain attention. Bork and Edward James almost is official. Boy, and I thought Dominic versus Ray was going to be the piss break match. Owens and Solo, Seth Logan face off. Gargano and Balor, Bianca and Carmella, and Cena returns in Boston next week. And then the entrances start at 7:37 for Lita and Becky. Damage Control make their entrance after the break at 7:43 p.m. Becky and Lita versus Damage Control, a.k.a. Dakota, Sky. Dakota and Sky. No, Dakota and Io. And it's a women's tag team championship match. Bayley in the corner of Damage Control. The bell rang at 7:46. 20 goddamn minutes. Format your show better. The match was fine. But I didn't care at this point. The crowd was sort of into it. They really did get into it a little bit later. They milked the hot tag to Becky, or from Becky to Lita. And Becky even broke out Diamond Dust. At one point, I wrote down, can Io be arrested for beating up the elderly? And then here's Trish. She tackles Bayley once, hits the chick kick, and then the twist of fate on Io. Look, I know Lita is older and nobody can move as well as they used to in their prime, but sweet Jesus, it was like Lita was the world's oldest turtle in the Guinness Book of World Records at this point. Moonsault for 3. We need more pyro! 1 second. We're in this on a high note. You are happy that Damage Control lost the tag titles, aren't you? I guess you aren't. Okay, well anyway, we have new tag team champions. Don't we? We have new tag team champions, Becky and Lita. Okay, alright, well you know what, that's it folks, we are done with the review. Yay, Raw, we're a month away. Shit. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland, the producer's over there. I'll see you soon.